there, I'm Angela.
And I'm Natalie.
And we are Blondetourage. Today, we are going to rank the films that we saw at the Overlook Film Festival from number 9 to number 1. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, number 9.
Bird Eater.
A bride-to-be is invited to her fiancé's bachelor party, but when uncomfortable details of the relationship are exposed, the night takes a feral turn.
I did not like this film.
I did not care for it. And I feel bad because one of our friends is good friends with the PR person, and we just did not care for it.
It was disjointed to me. I kept waiting for something major to happen, and it just didn't go there.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? Some people liked it, a lot, and to each his own. Number 8.
In a Violent Nature.
Described as an ambient slasher, the film follows a mute killer who targets a group of teenagers in the wilderness, with the events observed largely from the killer's perspective.
Man, did I have problems with this film.
This was, I think, one of my most anticipated films going into this. So
this is what we actually didn't go see Mike Flanagan for.
Yes.
To see this movie.
And that hurt.
I know. Because we both didn't like it.
Yeah. I think I liked it a little more just for some of the visuals. And that's
yeah,
it,
I mean, there was like a killer kill in there.
The kill scene was amazing.
But to be honest, seeing from the point of the killer, I felt like half of the movie was just watching behind his head, him walking through the woods. I was bored.
It was very repetitive.
Yeah.
You know, just him walking. And it's just, it almost lulled you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
But some people loved it. Yeah. Number 7.
Things Will Be Different.
In order to escape police after a robbery, 2 estranged siblings lay low in a farmhouse that hides them away in a different time. There they reckon with a mysterious force that pushes their family bonds to an unnatural breaking point.
I like this movie, and actually from here on, I liked every one. You know, and some of them are tied, but this one I really enjoyed. I just had a little bit of an issue with the ending, you know, but I thought the acting was solid.
Very.
And I thought the story, which is a little bit involving time travel, was interesting.
And I didn't think I was going to like it when we first started reading about them.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we went because I thought it was good. I was entertained.
We actually went to see this because we missed 𝐦𝐤𝐬. And we were so disappointed. So we're hoping for a screener, but hopefully.
Number 6.
Cuckoo.
When 17-year-old Gretchen reluctantly moves with her family to a resort in the German Alps, she finds herself the subject of terrifying visions and aggressive stalking by a mysterious woman who may or may not be linked to the town's past.
This was another film I was so excited to see, and was just, I actually walked away a little disappointed. I didn't hate it at all. I was entertained.
Yeah.
But it disappointed me because I wanted it to go somewhere else.
Same.
That it did not.
And what I thought it was going to be about was not it at all. I thought it was going to be about her getting confined. They were getting her in a mental institution.
Yes.
And that's what I thought the whole thing was going to be out.
And you thought it was like a cult.
And like a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't that at all.
Yeah.
And I guess I was hoping for that, and since it wasn't, I was disappointed. There were some really good scenes. The bicycle scene, we absolutely loved.
Such a great scene.
And she's a great actress.
Hunter Schafer.
But I don't know. It was just okay for me.
Same.
Number 5.
Infested.
Residents of a rundown French apartment building battle against an army of deadly, rapidly reproducing spiders.
Now, we actually got a screener for this because we couldn't not make it to the screening. I really enjoyed this, and I actually think it was more enjoyable at home because you're sitting there relaxed, and I don't know, creepy crawly things like spiders just freak me out. And I don't know if, I think just being home, it was just creepier that way.
I thought this was going to be a campy, silly kind of movie.
Yeah.
It was really good. The
So
story was
good.
good. The everybody who was in it, the actors, they were great.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it was also subtitled, which you also have an issue with.
And it didn't bother me.
It didn't bother you.
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, you are. You're growing up. One thing I really enjoyed about Infested was it reminded me of a film that you haven't seen yet, and I really think you should see. And
What
it's also
is it?
subtitled. It's called Wreck, where they, well, I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen Wreck because it's amazing, but it had that feel to it.
Okay.
So, anyway, I really enjoyed Infested, and I know you did as well.
Yep. Number 4.
Humanist vampire seeking consenting, unaliving person.
A young woman vampire is unable to kill and meet her need for blood, but may have found a solution in a young man with unaliving tendencies.
This film, I really loved it. I loved it. I thought about it.
Yeah.
Like everything else that we've talked about so far,
Yes.
I didn't give it a second thought. After we left, saw it, good, done, bye.
Yes.
This one, I have thought about several times. I want to see it again.
I
The
loved
story
it.
was amazing. The 2 main characters, I loved them. You fell in love with them.
Yes, it was kind of a coming of age story,
Yes.
and I love those types of stories.
Did it kind of remind you of Let the Right One In
Yes.
a way?
Yes, more of a sweet story,
Yes.
more so than that really dark. I mean, it had dark moments, but
Yeah.
there was comedy in it, which
Oh,
I think
it was
lightened
so
the mood.
good.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
again, subtitles, but
Yeah,
I did okay.
you did good.
You know, it was funny though. The subtitles were very low on the screen, so we
we
both
kept
had to watch
sitting up
this.
like that. Yeah, I actually sat on my purse.
Did you? I don't remember that, but it was good. Definitely got to check that one out.
Definitely.
Number 3.
Red Rooms.
A disturbingly engaging tale of a model's obsession with a child murderer who's on trial and her dark web search for evidence of his innocence.
This movie I thought was
She's done well.
perfect. I loved it. It was so
It was so engaging.
engaging. I was on the edge of my seat because you don't know what this girl's motives are.
Nope.
And it's like, which way is she going? I loved it.
It was very troubling, disturbing material in it.
Definitely.
So kind of have to go into it knowing that and just prepare yourself. But great film. I love when they do courtroom scenes and dramas.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that.
And this was also another subtitled film, but I
right.
think there was some English in it. But it
was French, right?
it was French.
Yeah. Number 2.
Dead Mail.
An ominous help note finds its way to a 1980s post office, connecting a dead letter investigator to a kidnapped keyboard technician.
Oh my gosh.
This movie was fantastic.
I loved it. And I cannot wait to see it again.
It had that 80s vibe to it.
Yes, and I feel bad that like we put it in second place.
I know.
Because it really is tied.
It's
for
tied
first.
for first. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just different, so it was hard.
And it's much smaller film. So I just love, though, the 80s aesthetic. When film sometimes has that retro feel to it, it doesn't seem authentic to me. And it, like, you can almost tell, like, they put a prop there. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yes.
they'll put a product there or dress them in clothes that is of the time.
And it's not authentic.
It's not
and
authentic.
You are just like, okay, you're trying too hard.
You're playing
basically.
dress up,
Yeah.
basically. This, it felt like you were watching a film from the 80s.
Absolutely.
It was incredible.
The story was so good.
Yep.
And you just didn't, you were like on the edge of your seat.
Definitely.
Like, and it was sad too.
It was sad. All the characters, you kind of really like them. And actually, you even like the villain a little bit.
Yes.
And I mean, okay, he does some things that we don't like, but he was so good.
I know.
I just, you felt like he was so pathetic.
Yep.
You know?
You almost felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can't tell too much about it without giving it away, but you've got to see it. The minute it comes out is so good. And like we said, it is tied. It just came in a hair under our number one pick, which was Abigail.
After a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl.
This was just tons and tons of fun.
We had the best time. I was laughing through the whole thing. I loved it.
It was a blast. I felt like it was a carnival ride.
Yes!
You know? You're just on a ride, and it had its highs, its lows, it's crazy, it's danger. It's like, it was just all encompassing of everything that we love in movies. Action, thrills, gore, comedy, relationships between characters.
Oh yeah.
It was just
everybody
great story. It was,
they all had wonderful chemistry together. It was incredible. And I really can't wait to see this again.
I know. It'll be different though. Like, I'm so glad that we saw it in a theater with all of that energy. Because that really, really made you dive into it just that much more. It'll be interesting to see what it's like watching it at home. I'm sure I'll like it just as much. But I'm so glad that we had our first viewing at the Overlook. And it was so great that the directors got up at the end and told us a little bit about, you know, how they put the film together and what the experience was like. It's time for you to go out and check them out now and let us know how you rank them.
Thank you so much for watching our ranking of the Overlook Film Festival films. Please remember to like
and subscribe.
We'll see you next time.
See ya!